This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
If you're still in this Cyber Week, Black Monday, Black Friday mode, whatever it is, I wanted to kind of just do a video rounding up some of my favourite pedals that I've tried this year, or maybe had for longer, but that have maintained interest in a way that sometimes pedals kind of don't. First of all, there's the HX Stomp, which I want to mention because I use that in basically every video, most gigs, and Helix Native at least on almost every video. So yeah, I think that's a really fantastic pedal, probably the best value pedal there has been for a long time. The Fractal VP4 I also want to mention, as sort of Fractal I think makes some of the best digital effects in the world, and they put it into this kind of more pedal board friendly situation. I've used this on a couple of gigs now, and I have to say it's actually some of the most enjoyable live tones that I've ever used. Done other videos on that. I wanted to also mention the Nano Cortex, because I think this is actually a better product than the Quad Cortex in terms of being slightly better thought out. It's not as complex in terms of doing lots of different things. It's kind of a tool for one job, and it does it really well, and is tiny, all that sort of stuff, and sounds pretty good, I think. And actually the effects built in are really decent too. The Universal Audio Enigmatic, I really enjoyed my time with it. I did sell it on because I felt like what I already had in Fractal and HX Stomp world could cover that territory pretty well. Now on to some of the pedals. Please, if you've got suggestions for your favourite pedals of this year that you've kind of been gigging, things that have remained, you know, high in your opinion. I also should mention that Nobel's ODR1, because I feel like that is actually covering things that maybe none of this is. Okay, now first of all I wanted to include this pedal because it's been on my board as long as I've had it, and 2024 it didn't come off my board at all. This is the Angry Driver, the Boss JHS collaboration. I think it's really pretty good value for money, one, because you've got two pedals in here. You've got the Blues Driver and you've got the JHS Angry Charlie, which is, I think, Marshall Governor inspired, based, whatever you want to say. So we got into a deluxe reverb. And it's one of those few pedals that I have that can do that sort of glassy thing with the Blues Driver. I use it with a remote switch that Chris got me. And then you've got the JHS side, which is obviously... And then you can also stack them if you want to, so you'll see it go purple if they're stacked. So that's the JHS Angry Driver. There are a load of Bluesbreaker clones, but the reissue I think is my favourite of all. And just is incredible. And to me, it didn't need improving. It's basically what I've learned when I've played other Bluesbreaker clones, is that once I played this thing, I thought actually they had it right first time. Just a fantastic pedal. My wife bought me that one like a couple of years ago. But amazing pedal. That was David Beebe's idea, I think. Talking to David Beebe, he bought this pedal when he was over in Seattle, Portland, I think. Close, isn't it? It's an old SD1, basically. And I said, can you grab it for me? Because I'd be interested in that. And then he proceeded to not give it to me for absolutely ages. But I did finally get it this year. And it's kind of like Tube Screamer-ish, but without the bottom falling out. So anyway, so that's that. I think after the Bluesbreaker, everything's going to sound slightly not as good. I've been doing a little bit of work with Joyo, and this was my favourite thing that I've tried of theirs. The Joyo Baatsin. I think it is a great example of a pedal that is, yes, budget, but does a lot of great things that many other pedals don't do. Sort of not dissimilar to the idea of something like the JHS Bonsai or the Rat Pack, where you packed like a bunch of, you know, actual circuit changes onto a dial like this. But unlike those 3 JHS pedals, I think there is, right? They're actually sort of slightly different topographies. So instead of it all just being one version of a Tube Screamer, it's kind of like Tube Screamer adjacent stuff, so like a Timmy, Joyo Sweet, which is like a Mad Professor, Tube Screamer, you know, a bunch of them. Anyway, watch the full demo, but like loads of different tones. A great sort of all-round drive pedal if you're looking for something that can do a lot of things. A great Swiss Army knife drive. I've definitely tried the Love Pedal Zendrives, but never really got on with them. This year, hearing Robin Ford talking about the Zendrive, and my buddy Jake was there with Robin Ford, this has become a revelation for me in terms of but yeah, great drive for lead tones. I would suggest more so. Kind of has a voicing there a little bit, kind of like a tube screamer, in that it's not necessarily going to be amazing for rhythm playing, in my opinion, is kind of my experience. But for lead tones, anyway, that's an original like Zendrive, so a Hamida, not a Love Pedal one. But yeah. Also, if you're looking for something that could do that sort of thing, the Joyo Tai Chi is actually quite close. This one, a shout out to my buddy Keith and David Barber. This is their slightly higher gain version of the BUSS. So the BUSS, if you don't know, on one side is normally a Bluesbreaker, and the other side is like Dumble ODS. On this side, it's a bit more JCM 800-ish, is what they've said. But it's kind of like the BUSS with more. A higher gain version of the BUSS. The BUSS is on my pedal board, but I didn't want to take it off. I thought I'd just demo this one instead. Yeah, David Barber, solid guy. Keith, solid guy, and solid kind of boutique pedal, if you're into that, without really too much of a boutique price tag. Last of all, for this part, I wanted to shout out the drive pedal that's not really a drive pedal, like they called their first kind of big thing the Revival Drive. It's not really a drive pedal. This is the Deluxe 55 from Origin Effects Tweed recreation. They basically kind of modelled an amp but in analog form in a pedal, and that's kind of subtly different to a traditional drive pedal, right? Anyway. You might notice it kind of sounds most different to all of these other pedals probably. And then I guess also I should say that probably I'm making all of these sound exactly the same. They're all going through the Deluxe reverb with an SM7B, and I'm apologising because that's kind of how I sound. Catch you in another video soon. Yeah, if you've got, you could email me as well if you've got suggestions for pedals that I really need to try. I think Kernham Ridge is something that quite a lot of you seem to think I should try, but let me know your thoughts in the comments.